One. And we're live. Hi! Greetings, West Davidson Public Library listeners and viewers. It's Sedley and Shalina. And we're here today to talk to you about Shalina's reading challenge.
Yes, I hope that you guys are taking advantage of the cool reading challenge I came up for you. Today we're going to be talking about zodiacs and authors that share your zodiac.
And so that was one of your prompts, right?
Yeah, I thought I got the prompts from Pop Sugar.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really cool because who doesn't love reading about their zodiac and reading about themselves?
What sign are you?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. That's interesting. I'm a Gemini. And you're what, Maureen? A Cancer.
I'm a Leo.
And
we can all be a Leo.
Now, I've always enjoyed reading my horoscope, but I don't necessarily think that it's like a hard and fast thing. How do you feel about signs and horoscopes?
I don't put on stop. It is fun to read about yourself. Some of the stuff, I mean, it makes sense. Some of it does go along with my personality. But no, I'm a science girl.
You are definitely you definitely don't lack personality. I think. So let's see. And I mean that with the most deepest affection. So what is it we're doing today?
Today we're going to help you, dear reader, figure out if you have any questions, what authors share your zodiac. To give you some inspiration if you would like to do this reading challenge. What are you talking about? Aries first?
Okay. And we are. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Well, I can and so I think that one of the challenges is that you read a book by an author that shares your sign.
Right.
And so we're just offering suggestions and maybe, and then we're going to maybe talk about some quirky things about that sign.
Yeah, and share your zodiac too.
Yeah, share. Yes, be sure to jump in at any time. So we're going to start with Aries.
Yes.
Scope for Aries says your enthusiasm for sports and the great outdoors has caused you a lot of sleep. 2021 is the best time to catch up on those lost Z's. Oh, caused you to lose a lot of sleep.
Is it?
So a couple of the, so who do you have as an Aries?
Flannery O'Connor, A Good Man is Hard to Find is this book. She's an Aries.
A Good Man is Hard to Find. I'm not going to okay, because there's an old joke, but we won't.
What did we write for Flannery?
Flannery, she's a Southern Gothic novelist from Savannah. She wrote 2 novels, 31 short stories, and over 100 book reviews. But other than that, she's kind of boring compared to
some of the other ones.
Yeah. So, I mean, did you have anything? Maya Angelou, did you have anything by her?
I have. I'm sure I do. I just got these out of order, though. Okay. Maybe I should turn it this way.
That's okay. Maya Angelou is also an Aries, and we all know a very famous North Carolinian. Her poetry is. That's okay. That's okay. Her poetry is widely studied, but some fun facts about Maya Angelou is that she was only the second poet to ever read at an inauguration. Mm-hmm. That was at Clinton's. She was the first Black woman to conduct a cable car in San Francisco.
Wow, that's cool.
She spoke 6 languages.
Wow, what languages?
I don't know. We could maybe come back to that. She was an avid chef, wrote 2 cookbooks, and she even had her own line of Hallmark greeting cards. So I'm interested in the cookbook. I'm gonna have to look. I know we'll have to look that up. And Beverly Cleary, you read Beverly Cleary when you were little, did you not?
Girl,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. So she was not a good reader, had no access to a public library, and Ramona, her famous character, was based on a little girl in her neighborhood that was incorrigible. Oh.
I wonder if the little girl was based on knew.
Well, like her name was Ramona.
Oh, wow.
So that's interesting. Okay, the next sign is Taurus. Charlotte Bronte, Harper Lee, and William Shakespeare.
What I have here.
So, like a true artist, your things are all over the place. Time to tidy up, sort your belongings, and throw away all that junk in the trunk. Oh, that's okay.
Oh, yes, I do. Harper Lee.
Oh,
Yeah,
Harper
I
Lee.
watched it.
Okay. Have you read that?
No.
Yeah, but you've read To Kill a Mockingbird, right?
Yes.
I think most, and funnily enough, To Kill a Mockingbird, it's been studied for decades in schools,
Uh-huh.
but it is the most, very few authors hit it big,
Right.
but Harper Lee was an instant millionaire. She earned millions in royalties every year because of To Kill a Mockingbird. She was so, go ahead.
This one, gosh, how long did this one come out?
I think she had dementia, and she had dementia at the time, so she was unaware.
Mhm.
And her estate, there was some controversy surrounding that one, because she only ever published To Kill a Mockingbird.
Right.
She never published again. But there's some controversy. It's not really a great book.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah, I read it. I didn't really like it, but
To Kill a Mockingbird, guys. This is the one I pulled.
yeah. Well,
it's been
but something interesting about Harper Lee, even though she was a millionaire, she lived in a very modest apartment in New York City. She took public transportation, and in her later life, she moved to a very humble ranch home with her sister in Alabama.
Wow.
She shopped at Walmart. All her clothes came from Walmart.
Nice.
Yeah. So just a very simple. Yes.
It's not surprising.
So do we want to move on to Gemini?
Oh, I don't care.
Okay. Charlotte Bronte. Have you ever read any Charlotte Bronte?
No, I have. Tell me. What?
Like Emma and
Wait. No, that's
Sense and Sense. No. Okay.
I get Jane Austen.
And I do too. Well, Bronte wasn't her real name.
Oh, really?
No, they were from Ireland, and so her name is Bronte, Bronty.
Ah.
But her dad changed the spelling because it sounded more regal, and Bronte, and it meant thunder in Latin. So he just thought it was a real powerful name. Cool. And of course, William Shakespeare.
I just had to do William Shakespeare for class.
Selena is our student. Yep.
William Shakespeare is,
and he was an English playwright, poet, and actor, and I think he kind of set the tone for what we call theater.
Yeah, for sure.
And but in his lifetime, he wrote 37 plays, 150 poems.
They say he did.
They say he did.
I enjoy the conspiracy theories surrounding William Shakespeare and who actually wrote
his.
Have you never heard?
No. Well, I haven't read William Shakespeare since high school, and
who
that's like the 80s. So yeah, nobody.
I don't think we have a book. Oh yeah, probably in nonfiction.
Yeah, I think we do. I think we have in literature. Okay, so shall we move on? Sure. This is my sign, a Gemini.
Ooh,
the sign of the twins.
Who do we have? Who is it?
Salman Rushdie and George Orwell.
This says Cancer on the back.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Well, Salman Rushdie is well, first of all, let's read the horoscope.
Okay.
You love your friends and family. You will do anything to keep them happy and supported. Mirror that love and care for the people back to you. Your well-being is a priority too.
I can see that in you.
You can?
Yeah. I found that as a supervisor here that you want us to be happy.
But I do struggle sometimes with self-care, but I'm making that my mantra for 2021.
Everyone's should.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
I don't have a Gemini here.
Okay, that's okay.
Unless George Orwell.
George Orwell. You have George Orwell, Animal Farm, 1984. George Orwell was a prankster. He worked a number of odd jobs in his career.
Mm-hmm.
He was once arrested. Funnily enough, he had knuckle tattoos, which I don't know. No, I didn't. I don't know. And he knew 7 foreign languages, and he voluntarily fought in the Spanish Civil War.
Wow.
Yeah.
Spanish Civil War.
But knuckle tattoos. Do you have any tattoos?
I have a lot of tattoos.
I have no tattoos.
Well, we're going to have to fix that.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Another conversation for another day. Salman Rushdie.
Oh, that one's a controversial.
Yes. Yes.
By him here.
The
Right.
Satanic Verses is what he's most noted for,
Yes.
and it caused a lot of
Controversy with
his
Islamic.
culture. Because
Yeah.
well, he was Muslim Indian,
Mhm.
I believe, and it sort of didn't paint a pretty picture of his culture.
I don't even think it has anything to do with Satan. I'm not sure. I
I
think
don't think it has
tried to-
anything. I don't
I think
remember.
I tried to read it.
I tried to read it too.
It's
Yeah,
dense
it's like this thick.
and it's heavy stuff.
And I wanted to read it because of the controversy.
Right, me too.
Yeah. Tell somebody they can't read something and then like they're there
Yes.
checking it out. Okay, next sign is Cancer.
Let's see George Orwell for Cancer. Who do we have here?
Octavia Butler and Franz
Kafka.
Kafka.
I don't have any of those guys.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
That's okay. Do you want to read the horoscope and I'll
You love your alone time, and there's nothing wrong about it. But 2021's the perfect time to get more social and make new friends, reconnect with old pals, and say yes to more RSVPs.
and hopefully we'll have more things to RSVP to in the near future.
Oh yeah, hopefully so.
So Octavia Butler, I'm embarrassed to say I've not read any by her. So I'm putting her on my to-do list. But she walked a singular path. She was a writer from her poverty-stricken childhood to her death in 2006. She only lived to be 58. She committed her life to turning speculative fiction into a home for Black expression. So she's a Black writer.
Mm-hmm.
She weathered rejections, worked dead end jobs, and just kept. She wanted to be a writer.
Right.
She became the first science fiction author to be granted a MacArthur Fellowship, and the first Black woman to win Hugo and Nebula awards.
What's the book? Do you have?
I don't. Well, I remember seeing some of the books, but
Yeah.
but they're widely acclaimed.
Gosh,
Yeah.
I feel like I know that.
You've probably read her, and I haven't, because
science fiction.
even though I was a women's lit minor in college, that was like the 80s and 90s. I'm pretty sure everybody we studied was white.
Oh, Kindred. I think that is a movie that I've seen. I think they've made that into a movie.
Okay.
And that's the only one that I've seen on here that I recall hearing about.
We will have to look a little bit more into her.
For sure.
Okay. But we can definitely, if you want to read any of these authors, if we don't have the books here, we can definitely get them through the consortium. And I bet a lot of them are available on Freeding or Overdrive. Franz Kafka was a German-speaking Bohemian novelist who cheated on his high school exams and was afraid of mice.
He's the one that wrote Metamorphosis.
Yes.
Yes.
What she said.
Metamorphosis.
The Metamorphosis. Our next sign is Leo. Who's our famous Leos?
Linda.
Linda's a Leo. J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling and James Baldwin. Is that one of the Baldwin brothers?
No, this is. And James Baldwin is a very prolific writer that passionately wrote on the subject of race in America, but in the 50s and 60s.
Oh wow!
So his stuff is quite old. I've heard of him. Sadly, I've not read him, but I also want to add him to my list. He wrote novels, essays, plays. Yeah. Yes. So he is. He's perhaps best known for his books of essays, in particular, Notes of a Native Son, Nobody Knows My Name, and The Fire Next Time.
Okay. Native Son. Okay.
And then J.K. Rowling needs no introduction.
Right.
Okay.
Harry Potter, guys.
Harry Potter.
She did some adult sort of what is it? Where are sections here? I don't even.
What, adult? A young adult?
Adult fiction. She wrote an adult fiction or two, and I don't even know what they're
called.
Is there really anything else besides Harry Potter?
It is the best-selling book series in history.
And also one of the most challenged.
Yes, it is a challenge book. She is very wealthy, and she's donated a ton of money to charities. Yes. So To Kill a Mockingbird is the most sold book ever.
Really?
But Harry Potter is the most popular series ever. Okay. And 2 thumbs up from Linda the Leo. Being the life of the party and an admirer of the finer things in life gets to be expensive. Be conscious of your purchases, make that effort to hold back and save those bucks back in your wallet. So, are you a spender, Linda? Yes and no?
Very frugal.
Yes, but she does dress nice. She likes her clothes, so, and her shoes.
Her Vans.
Linda the Leo.
Linda,
Yeah, she's got a collection of Vans, yeah, which we love. Virgo. Do we have a Virgo? Agatha Christie, Stephen King.
Oh, I could show Stephen.
Oh,
My favorite.
is he really?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read Stephen King in many, many, many years, but I think I'm going to.
It's my absolute favorite series.
Mr. Mercedes.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's a little bit supernatural. You know, he's ghostly and
creepy.
The Stand was really good, but this series, there are 3 books, is my favorite. It's like a sort of a police procedural. It's really good. I enjoyed it a lot. Stephen King.
Agatha Christie and Stephen King both are kind of like bloody, murder mystery.
That's interesting. Are you Virgos creepy?
Any creepy Virgos out there? We want to hear from you. So Virgos, as a master of perfection, there's a tendency to be critical of other people, lower those high standards, and accept that not everyone should live up to them. Let go and be happy. So Stephen King, needs no introduction. Right. Do you want me to tell you some fun things
about Stephen?
Yeah.
Yes.
He and his wife Tabitha, which they, as a couple, they like her to be named. She's not Stephen King's wife. She is Tabitha King.
She's an author too, I think.
Is she?
I think.
Oh, is she? Yeah, Linda says yes. Yeah, his son as well.
Which is my husband's name.
Joe Hill, that's right. Yes. And Joe Hill wrote the Velvet Heart. No. Anyway.
Nosferatu. The Nosferatu and several other things. He's a creepy guy too.
Okay. Well, Stephen and his wife Tabitha own a radio station. He's a hardcore Red Sox fan.
Yes.
He was hit by a car, then bought the car that hit him. As a kid, his friend was struck and killed by a train. He wrote a musical with John Mellencamp. He played in a band with other successful authors, and he's originally from Maine. I believe he lives in Florida now.
He lives in Maine.
Okay. Maybe he's summers in Florida.
Like Victorian-looking house, which is creepy.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's a Victorian-looking house. But when he got hit by the car, that event inspired.
That's the book. I know that book.
Or no.
Yes, because there's a character that gets hit by a car.
Yeah, all of his books are about
inspired
writers from Maine.
Okay. But there's one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was the man hits the gypsy, and the gypsy puts a curse on him. Thinner. I read that. Yes. Oh my goodness. Well, Agatha Christie, she taught herself to read before the age of 5.
Wow.
She started writing detective novels as a bet with her sister, and she typically wrote 2 to 3 books a year. And she is the best-selling novelist of all time.
And she still gets checked out.
She still does. Yes. Okay, you ready to move on to Libra?
Okay.
Libra. Oh, this is a colorful group here.
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay.
Mom, I just want to preface this with I started here with the fun facts.
Yes.
They're nowhere as near as informative as yours.
Well, that's okay. We kind of
running out of time.
Yeah, we are running out of time, so they might get a little thin from here. F. Scott Fitzgerald was a poor student and an awful speller.
Yep.
It was thought he had suffered from dyslexia. He nearly failed out of Princeton before leaving anyway to join the military. He spent over 2 years working as an unscripted script doctor on such films as Gone with the Wind and A Yank at Oxford.
That's pretty interesting.
But best known for, you have This Side of Paradise.
Well, that's one. And then
Gatsby.
The Great
Gatsby. I love that book.
Yes.
Yeah. And the movie.
There's a young adult graphic novel over here.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to look at that.
Yeah.
So Libras, like F. Scott Fitzgerald, as much as they are romantic and loving of other people, Libras are quite notorious for holding grudges. So 2021 is the year to start fresh and have peace in your heart.
My son is a Libra.
Is he?
My oldest. And that is him to a T. He's a very sweet kid until you make him mad.
Okay, so Oscar Wilde.
I don't have any Oscar Wilde. He's a super interesting character.
He is. And if you are interested in interesting characters, you should probably Google him, because probably a lot of the things that he's notorious for, and we can't mention that on we're not going to say it out loud. It's not safe for work. So but he only wrote the one novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Yes.
And my daughter bought that book recently.
I've read it a long time ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I've read more about Oscar Wilde than actually read his work, because he's just such an interesting guy. Interesting. And then my favorite of all time, Shel Silverstein.
He's your favorite?
Yes, I had such a crush on him. He turned me into a reader.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yes. Look. Yeah. Can't do it. Can't.
The saddest I've ever read.
His first job was selling hot dogs at White Sox baseball games. He was drafted into the Army, and where he was stationed in Korea and Japan. He worked as a cartoonist for the military magazine Stars and Stripes, and that was his first big cartooning gig. So he also, I'm trying to think of, he was also a songwriter for like in the 60s.
It mentioned when I was reading about him, it said something about him being a songwriter.
So he a very colorful guy.
Yeah.
I just thought I loved Where the Sidewalk Ends. I mean, I thumbed through that. I read that book back. I had all those poems memorized as a 9-year-old. Okay, so now we're going to go to Scorpios.
We have Margaret.
Okay. Margaret Atwood. I think she's probably most known for Handmaid's Tale. It's always, I don't think it ever comes back. Yeah.
This is another one that we have up here.
Hagsy.
This one on the back here, this is pretty interesting. I'm just now reading it because I've got my notes that she's a Scorpio. It says that the High Seed is based on William Shakespeare's The Tempest.
Okay.
Is The Tempest the one with the 3 witches? No, I think that was Hamlet. Never mind.
Gotcha.
Because I'm thinking High Seed. Whatever.
There are a lot of modern retellings of Shakespeare's stories. Like there's a number of Romeo and Juliet type books.
And I think Margaret also retold the Odyssey, and it was called the Penelopeon, because in the Odyssey his wife is Penelope, who's sitting at home waiting for 10 years or something. Mm-hmm. So Margaret Atwood rewrote the Odyssey from the view of Penelope, and it's called the Penelopeon, I think, if I'm saying that right. Anyway, pretty interesting.
So Margaret Atwood, interesting character. Sylvia Plath also is a Scorpio. She won a fiction writing contest held by Mademoiselle in the New York City-based women's magazine, earning her the position as a guest editor in June of 1953.
I thought that was interesting because I think Sylvia Plath she's known for the way she died and being so depressed and her mental state and most of the things that she wrote, and and then to know that she was like a guest editor of a women's fashion magazine.
She was a hard and fast feminist, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Scorpios are known for their introspection and sensitivity. It's time to intentionally document all those thoughts and emotions. Okay. Next on our Zodiac wheel.
On our Zodiac tour, Sagittarius.
Who is a Sagittarius? You are.
And that is the best Zodiac.
So you share a sign with Jane Austen,
yes,
Emily Dickinson, and Shirley Jackson.
Now, of this list, Shirley Jackson is my favorite. She wrote House on Haunted Hill.
Yes.
The Haunting of Hill House. And that's one of my favorite books. She's a super interesting character. And I have read Jane Austen. I read Emily Dickinson.
That was well, I mean, at the time, now thousands and thousands of books are published every year, right. But in Jane Austen and Emily Dickinson's day, there were much fewer books published each year and even less by women.
Right.
So that's what
That
probably
is
made them,
amazing.
yeah.
And she had all three of these ladies have had a super interesting life.
Yeah.
But I am a big fan of Jane Austen movies.
Yeah, and Pride and Prejudice has been done and redone over and over
I
again.
enjoy all of them.
Yeah, yeah. And Pride and Prejudice, there are other, I can't, they escape me now, but there's some young adult novels that are sort of a modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice.
Mm-hmm. And the zombies.
Yeah.
Pride and Prejudice and zombies.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
We got it here, guys.
We have it here. Pride and Prejudice and zombies. Shirley Jackson didn't believe in ghosts, even though she was intrigued by the occult. She said she had never had a supernatural experience and wrote one of the most prolific ghost stories in literary history.
Yeah, did not even believe that.
That's crazy. So Sagittarius fueled the burning love for travel by adding unknown destinations in your list of places to visit. The more unheard of and the more non-cliched, the better. All right, so we move on to Capricorn. Okay, some interesting characters here. Zora Neale Hurston, David Sedaris, and J.D. Salinger.
Zora, well, I've read, I don't even know who David Sedaris is.
Oh yeah, I know David Sedaris. He's a modern novelist. I think he's kind of comedy.
I think all of these books like are classic.
I'll Talk Pretty Someday.
Is that
Me Talk Pretty one day. Yeah, I mean, David Sedaris is pretty well noted.
Oh,
so we'll have to. But he's a modern writer.
Okay.
So
and I've read
Zora Neale Hurston.
No, I want to. I have this book at home. I just haven't read it. The J.D. Salinger that is so controversial, but not really.
Oh, Catch
Catcher in the Rye.
Right.
But Zora Neale Hurston is super interesting. She did some interesting. You got to read about her. Look her up. She did some interesting stuff with.
She was an anthropologist.
Yes.
And she was the first Black student at Barnard College. And she won the Guggenheim Fellowship. She's traveled to Jamaica and Haiti to study voodoo rituals for research.
Right. It was
for research.
She involved herself, as sometimes anthropologists do, and it was very interesting. She had an interesting life.
Okay, cool. So let's move on. What's our next? Aquarius. Aquarius. Age of Aquarius. I'm not going to sing. So we have Toni Morrison and Langston Hughes.
Both of who are amazing.
Yes, yes. Let your altruism shine by giving it to others who need it. There are so many people and organizations needing your help and your bright light. Share it. So, and Toni Morrison and Langston Hughes have given so much to the literary world.
Yeah, Langston Hughes, he was a big proponent, or he was involved in the Harlem Renaissance a lot. He did artwork and poetry and wrote poetry and books and stuff. He's a very interesting guy and lived in Harlem for all of his life. He was an interesting
He's a
guy.
very influential African American poet. Toni Morrison, this is the one she's most noted for, The Bluest Eye.
Oh, I think it's one of and Beloved.
And Beloved.
Her writing is like, it's like, I don't know, it just flows like,
it's very dreamy.
Very poetic and dreamy. Yeah, dreamy is the word. Like, it's beautiful.
I read Beloved in a women's lit course when I was in college, and I read, like, after the course was over, I read everything by Toni Morrison. But that's been 30 years.
I've read several, and they're all. She is an excellent, excellent author.
She was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1993, and she made history as the first African American woman to receive that prize.
Okay. She should have.
Yeah. She's an amazing author. Okay, so I think you've got Pisces. Okay, we have Jack Kerouac.
This is a melee weapon.
What book do you have there?
This is Les Miserables by Victor Hugo.
Oh yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yes.
Les Miserables.
Yeah. That novel contains 5 volumes with a whopping 365 chapters, dang, and 1,400 pages long. In the original French version,
Is
there
this one
are,
abridged?
I guess, yeah. In the original French version, there are 1,900 pages. It's
Yeah.
considered to be one of the longest novels in history. Whew. I think it's probably more fun to see it on stage.
Right. And then that's up for debate.
And then Dr. Seuss, you know, I think he's been in the news so much it goes without mentioning.
Right.
So,
Well, and Victor Hugo, I found that was the one blurb that I found about him that was not awful.
oh really?
Yeah.
He was not a good
He was
person.
a womanizer.
Okay.
He did not have a good reputation with women. But he was interesting. You guys look him up because I can't talk about the
It's not safe for
fun
work.
facts about Victor Hugo.
So for Pisces, people respect your love for a long time, have a twist this year, and seek people out to spend time with them. Your family and friends love you and miss you too.
Oh,
So I think that's it.
that's
it. So let's see. Back to let's see. Yeah, Maureen said she's a Cancer, and Yolanda.
Yolanda's a
Yeah,
Libra.
from 10. She's a Libra. I love Yolanda. So that's our
That's all we've got.
today for so
We have entertained you until we could possibly not anymore.
right. But if you're interested in the reading challenge, we will post in the comments. We will post again the reading challenge. It's
Yes.
not too late.
No.
No.
I mean,
And
there's 12 books. You've got this.
there are 12 prompts throughout the year, and they're fun, you know,
Yeah.
just so you can kind of, you know,
Branch out.
And it doesn't, I mean, it takes me, even if you don't want to read the book and you just want to do the audiobook, that counts.
Right.
And I'm always, you listen to audiobooks in your car.
Yes.
Yeah, and I do too, like from work.
Yes.
And it takes me about a month to do one of those. So I think you could totally do audiobooks if you wanted to. But if you're interested in any of these authors or you're interested in the reading challenge,
you can call us. If we don't have a book, we can order it for you. Mm-hmm. We can show you how to get on Libby to get an audiobook. Mm-hmm. We're here.
And if you have any questions, 336-853-4800. Thank you so much.
Bye.